he said the biggest thing that I learned in the program is that just because I felt good doesn't mean I was doing good. And he didn't realize how much energy and how much health he was leaving on the table. Now he's off 5 medications, he's lost a bunch of weight, and he actually on his 73rd birthday was able to do pull-ups, 20 pull-ups straight-legged. And so that was pretty cool.
It's just simple steps of not paying attention to their health day by day, and it adds up. And so it's really just taking, that into account when you're looking at your habits, and you're being proactive about your health, right?
In order to live the life that we want, to create the best future, we have to leave some things behind. And every year, that's one of the reasons, because if I'm doing 25 enjoyable miles, that means I have to let something go, right? It's not like I can just extend the time horizon every day and give myself an extra hour. But what are the things that you need to leave behind so you can free up energy to do the things that you want to do?
Hello and welcome everybody to the Health Accelerator Challenges. This is your host, Cade Archibald, and I am joined by some really cool people today. Once again, we have Jeni Iyer on with us, our health advisor extraordinaire. Jeni, how's it going?
Good. Doing well today.
Awesome. And as the usual, but not to be normalized, we got Regan Archibald with us. Regan, how you doing?
Doing awesome.
Awesome. The peptide expert himself. We're going to be diving into some really cool stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show last week. Talked about different body systems and how to optimize those and look at those. We're going to be continuing on the 9 hallmarks of aging. We got some cool worksheets we're going to go over, and I'm excited for today.
Yeah, it'll be a fun one. And so last week we asked you guys, we said, okay, what part of your body do you feel like is aging the fastest? And then we gave everyone the challenge to do something about it. Go out there, and if it's your brain, maybe you feel like your brain's not as sharp as it was. Well, how many of you have done something about that? Maybe you started researching some nootropics, or maybe you came in and got the intranasal brain rejuvenation treatment. We've had several of you come in this week doing that, which has been amazing. Maybe it was, getting your cardiovascular fitness up. But one of the things that will help more than anything is making sure that you're proactive in your health approach. So today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to jump into a little bit of the peptide bioregulators, and I'm going to talk to you about some of the studies that have shown that they can actually reverse the aging in different systems in the body, and then I'm also going to share a worksheet with you guys. And Cade or Jeni, did you guys get that in your inbox?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And so if one of you could put it in the chat box,
Sure.
And I'm going to give you guys a fun little mental project to work on. So core philosophy here, what I've always looked at is there's 3 ways that I think about health, and I always am future focused about it. But in order to get you to the future, we have to make sure there's nothing in the present that's going to take you out quickly. And so one of the first principles is what we call no death by neglect. And Jeni and Cade, maybe you guys could describe what no death by neglect means, and I'll pull the worksheet up so we can chat about this.
Awesome. Well, the way I look at no death by neglect is really just making sure you're not neglecting your health, and actually getting some insights on what's going on with your health. If you don't do some testing, if you're not being proactive when it comes to your health, it's really easy to neglect it. So getting some blood labs ran, on a very regular basis. Looking at your body as a whole, paying attention to some of the things that are going on with it. That's really what I see no death by neglect means.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah.
To add to that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, people who die by neglect, I think sometimes or most of the time with chronic illness or like these chronic diseases that people pass away from, whether it's heart disease or cancer, it's usually not something that they want to die from, right? Nobody's like, I'm working really hard to die from cancer at age 73. It's just simple steps of not paying attention to their health day by day, and it adds up. And so it's really just taking, that into account when you're looking at your habits and you're being proactive about your health, right?
Yeah. First symptom of a heart problem is typically heart attack, right, Regan?
Of
heart disease,
cardiovascular disease. Yeah, is a heart attack. And the first symptom of a heart attack, like number one symptom, is death. It's weird. Death is classified as a symptom. It's kind of weird, but
you hear that occasionally on pharmaceutical commercials too.
May cause death.
Death.
But yeah, no death by neglect is just why leave things to chance? And that's what I've always looked at is, what are some of the best things that you can do on a regular basis to really understand how your body's functioning when it comes to testing? But then also the neglect is when you got to do something about it. And so that leads us to our second box, and that is your next decade, your best decade. And so if we're thinking about freeing up energy for the future and creating this lifestyle that you want, well, what are the things that move the needle the most in the next 10 years? And so think about some of the lifestyles that will create your healthiest next decade. And so, and this is actually the most important thing, because once you can track your progress, once you say, okay, well, where's the gaps in my health from my blood labs? And now you say, what do I need to do about it? That will get you where you want to go much faster versus just guessing and saying, well, I feel pretty good. Feeling pretty good is neglect to a certain degree. It's not the full story. I just had a patient today, and one of the things that was the most shocking to him, he was just finishing up his Accelerate Wellness program. He's transitioned into our longevity optimization program. And he said, the biggest thing that I learned in the program is that just because I felt good doesn't mean I was doing good. And he didn't realize how much energy and how much health he was leaving on the table. Now he's off 5 medications. He's lost a bunch of weight, and he actually on his 73rd birthday was able to do pull-ups, 20 pull-ups straight legged. And so that was pretty cool. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So if we think about this, this next decade, it's like, what do we want this to look like? What are those lifestyles that are going to get you there? So I want to hear from you guys. What are some of the things you're doing for no death by neglect? And then what are some of the lifestyles that will create your healthiest next decade? And so feel free to plug it in the chat box if you have anything you want to share. The Gallery test. Jeni, you've seen the Gallery test come through. And were you on the training Monday with the Gallery advisors?
No, but I listened to it.
Okay. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Gallery?
Stories always stand out to me and resonate with me because these are people's lives and experiences. And I was so impressed by some of the stories that she shared of, these are people who had no reason to believe that they had cancer, and they did. And they caught it early enough to where it wasn't a problem. Maybe they had to do a little bit of chemo, but at least it was a little bit and it wasn't the end of their life. So I was just really impressed with the technology that they use, and that their goal is really to save you money, save you stress, save your health, and prevent cancer.
Right. Well, and catch it if it shows up early. And then everything we're doing is, part of the preventive strategies. And when we talk about bioregulators, we'll go through that. But yeah, I think the gallery, for those of you who don't know, it can detect cancerous activities or DNA fragments is what it's testing for 4 years before most screenings can handle it, and where it even shows up. And so IHC, one of the major hospital networks in the state of Utah, every employee actually gets a gallery test ran every year because they've just found it makes no sense to wait until things are too far gone. So the gallery test is one of those tests that we're going to want to run, where we're going to want to see what's going on in your health. Doing a full body scan in the podcast last week, I shared with everybody what my full body CAT scan looked like. And I found out, oh man, I've got some areas in my body that I didn't know were damaged to the extent they were, like the herniations in my back. And so now I don't have to neglect that because I have the information and I can take action on it. And so now I get some stem cells in my back, and I'm really excited about that.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like early detection. And yeah, your scans were really interesting because, you had no idea some of the trauma that your back has endured has now showed up in some of the scans, but hasn't showed up symptomatically. And so I think it's really intriguing. I'm actually a little nervous to do mine now.
Yeah, I was just on with advanced imaging with their clinic with one of their main nurses, Ashley, who runs the operations, and we're getting all the medical records from the people we're on blood labs on. Some of you are on here. But the other thing we're doing is doing more retreats and collaborations so that we can have the scanning capabilities available for everyone. And one of the things we'll be doing is hosting a retreat in Texas, and then we'll have one in California coming up very soon with them. So you guys can get your whole body scan done. So make sure you keep us posted if that's something you're interested in, and is getting full body scan, brain MRI, just making sure you remove any kind of risk when it comes to your health. I tell people that scan is what tests the hardware of the body. Everything that we test internally is the software. And so if the hardware is broken, or if you're getting arteries that are clogged up, this will let you know that. It will show if there's any kind of tumors that are already grown. It's going to show you if you've got degeneration in your discs, if you've got arthritis. I mean, there's so many things that will be revealed in this. So if you're interested, let us know. And I just looked in the chat box, and it looks like we got someone coming in for their regenerative medicine tomorrow. So awesome. Really excited to have you come in, Esta. And yes, St. George, we'll be back in St. George before long, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lifestyle. Jeni, what would you say? Jeni's one of the world's best coaches, and when it comes to health, and one of our chief health advisors at East West. But what would you say the biggest lifestyle modifications that people may want to consider when it comes to living their coming into the next decade of their life with incredible health?
Well, if you've listened to me on this podcast before, my big three are like exercise, nutrition, and good sleep. And those should be a primary focus for everyone. And obviously we can add essentials to that, whether it be spirituality or getting outside every day, exposing yourself to the sun and getting your vitamin D. But really that base of like good nutrition to make sure that you're fueling your body, you're getting good sleep, and you're recovering from your exercise and your workouts that you do. Those are so important because they affect so many other facets of your health and your wellness. You're increasing strength, you're increasing your bone density, you're getting your brain to work every single day. And so those are going to be like the baseline things for me.
Love it. Yep. And by doing all those things, I mean, I'm a big believer in finding activities that you love. And we have our enjoyable activities tool. And that's one of those best ways that I found. You can get outside, you can also get exercise, and then you sleep better, because that's what, you guys will learn. Jeni will say, if you had one thing that Jeni will boil it down to, it's always sleep. And then everything kind of follows after that, which I think is wise. But you get out in the sun, you exercise more, you sleep better. I mean, it all just kind of flows. And so it's really helpful. So I want to hear what some of you guys are doing. I'm coming up on the end of my year-long 25 enjoyable miles per week. And I've loved this. This is something I'm going to keep with me. I did 1 year where I did, ice bath every day for a year. I've done exercise twice a day. I did that for a year. I've done other balancing activities every day for a year. I read 2 books a week for a year. I mean, there's a lot of things I like to do for a year. And that 25 enjoyable miles has been awesome, because I don't really enjoy running indoors. So none of that counts. And I have to get outside to get the miles. I can't get on my Peloton bike. It's not enjoyable enough to count. So it's been a great way for me getting outside, even in our blizzardous conditions here.
I was going to say, I'm impressed you stuck to that this winter.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Well, skiing and snowboarding counts.
That's true.
I'm getting miles in. So those were some of my favorite miles.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. And I like the idea of challenges. Regan likes doing them for a year, but I think often people are afraid of doing challenges because they're afraid that it's too short term, or it's like a detox and it's not good for your body, but I like the idea of a good challenge that excites you and gets you to push yourself in a way that you haven't done in a long time. Like Regan didn't love running for a while, and now he sounds like he likes it a little bit more.
Totally. Oh, yeah.
And it makes health exciting instead of just like the mundane, everyday same thing.
Yep. Well, and that's where we should probably put a plug in for the Murph, the Murphy workout. We're all doing that Memorial Day. Jeni, are you going to do the Murph?
I feel like I could do all of it except for the pull-ups.
Yeah, no worries. You just
get some bands.
Get some bands.
100 pull-ups?
Yeah, do lat pull downs. Or if
I can do that.
Yeah, you can modify it by wearing pull-ups.
Sure. Just try and get 100 pull-ups on.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a workout, actually.
There
we go. You can borrow Evans.
Yeah, there you go.
Lisa, good to have you on. Lisa, I'm so glad you're here. What is the Murph? The Murph is, it's Murphy. It's a CrossFit WOD, so CrossFit workout of the day. And it's in honor of a fallen soldier who was in Afghanistan, and he ended up saving about 20 soldiers' life. But then unfortunately, the helicopter got shot down. He didn't survive, but he used to do a workout where he would run a mile, and he would do 100. So the Murph is run a mile. You do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then you run another mile with a 20-pound weighted vest. And so, Lisa, are you game? Yeah, I think I know this will get you outside, and yeah, no, you can modify all that you want. If you're like, hey, I only want to run 100 meters and then I want to do 5 pull-ups, it's all good. But whoever completes it is getting a t-shirt. You're going to get one of our Fitness 50 t-shirts. So love to have everyone join us. And by the way, you can do it wherever you're at. And all you need to do is, be part of this community, and we'll give you some props and see how everyone did it. Yeah. Lisa said 5 years ago, maybe, but yeah, you'll be surprised. You got a tiger inside of you, so it will creep back out. Go ahead, Jeni.
No, I was just going to say, that's the thing about challenges. I think you end them being surprised at how much you could accomplish or the strength that you gained. And whether you complete the challenge 100% wearing a 20-pound vest, or you do it with your body weight, or you're like me and you have to do lat pull downs, you can still increase your strength so much and challenge yourself.
Yeah. I've been doing this, doing a Murph every week for about a month, maybe actually closer to 6 weeks. And I've been tracking it. And I can tell you that I've never had so much soreness. Like I'm loading up on the thymosin beta, but I actually got myself now where I can do the entire thing in under an hour. I did it in 55 minutes with the 10-pound vest. And so I'm just trying to work myself up sequentially. So I can do it in the 20-pound vest with with under an hour. So I'm getting closer, and it's been really fun. Just like you said, Jeni, I actually really look forward to it. And if I could do it twice a week, I would, because I feel so good when I'm done with the workout. So it's been awesome. All right, well, let's move to the next one. Next core mantra at East West is when health improves, everything improves. And, oh, cool. Esther says, once my stem cells kick in, I'm in. Good. Well, they should be about kicked in by then. Lisa, yeah, the tigers in me, is what my husband says, gets me in trouble. Right. You are very competitive. Yeah. So yeah, make sure you work with Tristan and we'll modify that for you, Lisa. And Georgia has been working with Tristan and is amazed at what she can do. Georgia's been doing full-blown push-ups. George, I saw you in the office the other day, and you're looking good. You look younger and younger every time I see you. So keep up the great work. So fun. Cool. Okay. So when health improves everything. So how many of you would say that life just gets better and better the healthier you are? I mean, no matter, I was talking to one of our clients today, who's a good friend of mine, and he's been pushing himself way too hard. You know, he's like, so everything's going great. It's amazing. Professionally, I've got all these great opportunities. And he said, but I haven't been taking care of my health and I can feel it. And I said, well, you've done this once and you burned out your body to the point where he actually had cancer and recovered from it. And I said, it sounds like we may be repeating a pattern. So we got a vacation put on the books for him, and he is he's recommitted because he realizes no matter how much success he can have, health is just something that money can't buy. You've got to actually take the time, and it's very important to be proactive about it. And this is why we have these conversations, and this is why we have our health accelerator community. But what in your life will improve the most with increased health? So just think about that for a minute. And, Cade, if you said, well, what would be the biggest benefit of you? We've ran your labs now, and so we're working on a few different pathways. What do you think is going to improve the most in your life as you start increasing those areas?
Biggest improvements I see, more energy, vitality, just being able to more stamina. That would be the biggest thing.
Yeah. And those would be awesome and then what more stamina gets you is then we go mountain biking and it's like game on the whole time. Cade goes mountain biking and he's crazy on the downhill. You can't catch him. No one can catch him. On the uphill is when it's like, all right, get out of the way.
Slows down. Yeah.
So imagine.
I get lapped on the uphill, but I usually do the catching up on the downhill. I need to start doing the lapping I need to be the lapper on the uphill.
and we're going to start doing races. I forgot to tell you, Cade, we're going to do races with Devon.
Nice.
The enduro races. And so what you just do courses, and most of it's downhill. So you got to come get in that circuit with us.
All right. I'm game.
Yeah. Awesome. So all those things, when health improves, everything improves. So we'll go to the next category. So this is where the transition takes place. And so if you think about, no death by neglect, your next decade, your best decade, when health improves, everything improves. This is where you think of someone like Georgia. You mentioned Georgia, you're just doing things you never thought you could do at your age. think about how much different your life is now because you made the choice a couple of years ago when you started working with us to live a different life. And then Georgia, she's talked about this openly, so I hope you don't mind me sharing, but she's brought her husband in. Her husband started making all these lifestyle changes. Her grandkids are looking at her and saying, holy smokes, what are you doing different, Grandma? It's amazing. All of these incredible things because you made that one decision, which is, hey, I'm gonna live a healthier life. And so in order to do that, Georgia and all of us, in order to live the life that we want, to create the best future, we have to leave some things behind. And every year, that's one of the reasons, because if I'm doing 25 enjoyable miles, that means I have to let something go, right? It's not like I can just extend the time horizon every day and give myself an extra hour. But what are the things that you need to leave behind so you can free up energy to do the things that you want to do? And so I'll ask some of you, Jeni, maybe you could talk about some of the main things that people have to leave behind. And we could even get into the 6 essentials as people jump into their program. We ask them to leave things behind there, but what do you see mostly?
I was just reading Lisa's comment. Just started the program, stopped alcohol, has already lost 5 pounds. She can zip up the gown she has to wear in 2 weeks. That's so awesome.
Stopped alcohol, started veggies and chicken, lost 5 pounds, and you can zip the gown up that you have to wear in 2 weeks. That was a big goal of Lisa's. And Lisa, we are doing our best to get the peptides there as soon as possible. Well done. That's exciting.
That's so impressive. Thank you for sharing that, Lisa. I think oftentimes it's parts of our identity that we have to give up. We identify as people who have certain thoughts about health or don't believe in health, or I don't know. There's people that come to mind in my family who are like, oh, Jeni's so healthy because she does this and this and this. And my sister that I'm really close to, I drink this mushroom hot chocolate by Ohm. And if you guys haven't had it, it's so ridiculously good. Mm-hmm. Very low in sugar. Anyways, she's a hygienist, and one of her patients was talking to her about it. And she said, oh, that's all stuff that my sister does. And the patient said, no, this is you. You can do this. And she texted me that day and she said, all right, I need to get some of this hot chocolate. And I think it's just a lot of times, like, that's our mindset that's holding us back. We can just move on and let go. Like Lisa just let go of alcohol just like that, which is so impressive. And my identity with my health has changed over the years. Like I've shared before, I was a long distance runner and I was like, I'm going to run 60 miles a week because that's who I am. And I had to get to the point where I was like, that's actually not great for my health. And I need to cut back a little bit and focus on other forms of exercise. So, and I like what you're putting in here too. Netflix, huge, right?
Yeah, I think when you look at the kind of the 6 habits or the 6 essentials, developing those new habits and getting rid of those habits that aren't serving you, which I think those are very true. Hot showers.
Working with us is a joy. You just get rid of anything that brings you pleasure, including your hot showers.
Oh, yes. I will put the hot chocolate brand in here.
Oh, yes. Yes. Great. Yes. And good, Lisa. Yeah. Bracelet, anchor on it to remind you to be strong, and the investment in the program. Yes. Because that's one of the things is, everyone in the community, you're people who decided, hey, I'm going to invest in my health instead of waiting for a crisis to show up and spending money as an expense on your health, which is what the majority of people do. 99% of Americans just, it's an expense when you have cancer, when you have heart disease, when you can't, walk up the stairs because your body's in so much pain. This is an investment. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And I'm really appreciative of your investment and everybody. So what do you need to free up? And this is one of the most important questions you could ever ask yourself. What are the aspects of your health you will leave behind? Jeni had to leave behind long distance running. And Jeni's still running like crazy, but you can't do the 60-mile weeks because it just wasn't sustainable. And what was it that finally clicked in your brain where you said, I've got to leave this behind?
I mean, the fatigue was unreal. Like, I would feel really energized during my run, and then I would get to my day and I was like, I can't function. I need to go sleep.
Yeah.
And then, talking with Regan and all the providers at the clinic, realizing like exercise should leave you energized for the entire day, not just for a couple of minutes after.
Yeah.
So that really stuck with me.
Man. Well, yeah, it's not fun, but there's all things we have to leave behind. And then any last thoughts on that, Cade, before we go to the final column?
I think we're ready for the next one. We don't need to talk about my bad habits anymore.
Yeah, the sniffing glue and sniffing gas.
That one was probably that and eating your dog's dog food.
Yeah.
That's got a story behind it when I was like 6 years old.
Cade would eat my dog's dog food. I had a dog and my parents were like, well, if you're going to buy this dog, I saved up my money and I bought a Springer Spaniel and a gorgeous dog, but I had to buy the dog food. And then when I caught Cade eating the dog food, I was livid.
That's funny.
It's what little brothers are for.
Yeah. It's like, come on, Cade. Put him in a headlock, give him a wedgie. Yeah. All right. So the final thing is, health is not fun when you do it alone. And that's when it can become neurotic. And that's when we have weird things happen. And so one of the things is if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And that's it's like an African proverb. And so I appreciate each one of you for being on this journey with us. Can't tell you how rewarding it is every day to have this greater level of purpose, to help serve you, to help find the innovations that are going to change your lives forever. And then I get to see all of the wins, all the great success stories that each one of you bring with you, and all the referrals, all the people you bring in. You bring your own community into our community, and it just creates a really fun ecosystem. So think about what the best relationships are that will grow your future health. So who do you want to hang out with? Because if you spend the majority of the time with people who are obese, your likelihood of being obese goes up like 8 times. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not saying like suddenly you just stop if someone's obese in your life. I'm not saying it's like be cold and get rid of them, but actually encourage them, just like Jeni's encouraging people, your sister. And I'm not saying she's obese. I don't know your sister. So if she listens to this, I'm not implying anything. I'm just, but it's actually really important to say, who are the people that I want to surround myself with? And who are the people that are going to help me actually level up and be the person that I know I can be? And this is where I look at Georgia. Georgia, you had a big decision you had to make. I look at Lisa, you had a big decision you had to make. Do you want to keep living life the same way, or are you going to make big differences? I look at everybody else who's on here today, and each one of you, I mean, it's amazing. Linda, Irene, Joan, I mean, there's so many of you, Allison, Jeff, I mean, all these amazing humans and all of the rest of you that are on here, like each one of you made this deliberate decision to have a relationship with us. And we take that very seriously, because the relationship you create with us is we're hoping that we can help facilitate and be great examples of living a really healthy future. And I don't know, the last medical clinic that you go into, and if you look at the people around you, how many of them are actually healthy?
It's a scary thought.
Yeah. I was talking to one of you today, and she just worked with Tristan, and she's like, you really don't hire anyone who's not good looking and not fit, do you? We have really fit team and people who actually take their health seriously. And Jeni runs a program that we have internally. And that program is called Own the Day. And maybe, Jeni, you could talk about what we do internally to keep our bodies and our minds healthy.
Yeah, so we have a little challenge that we do once a month, and it changes based on how I'm feeling. How much challenge the people, but just little challenges that we do to cultivate habits within our team. And the hope is that they stick, right? It's like our 60-day reset challenge that we do at the beginning of our programs when we're resetting your system. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get going, but the hope is that, they stick 80% of the time. And we find that it benefits our employees and our team because we show up each day better. And that's what increasing your health does, is you're a better version of yourself each day. So yeah, that's our program. And I love doing it. It's really fun for me to hear everybody's wins and talk about how they're improving their health.
Yeah. Every day at the clinic, we have, we do check-ins. So there's 4 categories. Grade yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10. How's your energy? How's your mood? What's your commitment level? And what's the 4th one? You remember, Cade?
There's energy. Wow.
I made these up, so I should probably know, but we just go through anyway.
Your energy, commitment. There's 3, and then it's your win.
Mood and gratitude. That's it. The 4th one's gratitude. So we don't like working with people in bad moods. So we just send them home if they're in a bad mood. But the gratitude. So, everything starts with gratitude. And so we just bring that energy in. And then on a lifestyle, people have to exercise at least 8 minutes. They practice time restricted eating, cold shower, and then
fasting, a normal fast.
Yep. Mindset morning. So if people do that, then they get a little bonus. So that creates a relationship built around health. And so what are the things that you do in your family? For those of you on this, what do you do in your own personal life? And what are those relationships that will help you grow just incredibly healthy in the future? And of course, we want to be part of that because we love hanging out with you. We love seeing your wins and progress. And we want to keep things moving in the right direction. The momentum is the most important thing in health. But if you have relationships where people are like, hey, let's go out and drink all night, or people will give you a hard time for eating healthy food. And you see people that just, they want to bring you down to their level, unfortunately. And so, you want to think about who you want to hang out with and who you want to have these relationships with. So
one thing, just to kind of add on to this, with working out. So one of my really close friends is going through the program right now. He's down here in St. George with me. And we started it was actually a little bit before he started the program. We just talked and we started working out together every single day. And it's, I think each of us have missed one day in like 100 days. We've been going strong for over 3 months. And it's so nice having an accountability partner to go meet up with. And I think that's, part of what we do is really hold that on, but it just makes it fun. I look forward to going to the gym every morning because I usually don't get a lot of time to hang out with this particular friend. He's running his thing, doing his thing and doing some really cool stuff and really busy. And, so am I. And so it always makes it fun. I saw Lisa's comment here. Been doing cold showers for a week, about a minute at the end of the shower. How long should I be doing that for?
Lisa, you don't get any benefits if it's not more than about 30 minutes. 20 seconds is the minimum. Ideally, work up to 2 minutes. And then when you're ready, get in the cold plunge. Nice.
Well done. That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't get what Irene. What does that mean, Cade?
She said she sings "Happy Birthday" 2 times
to Cade. Irene singing "Happy Birthday, Cade." Yes. Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, no time for peptide bioregulators, but we'll cover that not tomorrow because we have a guest on the show tomorrow. But we will cover that next week. I promise. But this is exciting. This is a brand new tool that Annie and I created. Cade and Jeni, how do you like this brand new thinking tool?
I like it a lot.
I think it's very futuristic thinking, but also applies to current day to day.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it gets you thinking about kind of, where your current habits are, what you need to leave behind, as well as what you need to kind of construct for the future. Yeah, love it. Well done. Yeah,
well, appreciate that. And thanks everyone for being part of the community. So your challenge this week is to fill out this form, your best future. And if you hear this on a podcast, we'll include this in the show notes. And by the way, we really appreciate your feedback. So as you go through the tool, send it in because we actually want to see what you're dealing with and where your challenges are and what you need to do to free up your energy for the future. And then we also have a new service that we're offering, which is if you have a relationship that's not serving you, then we send Cade over and Cade can terminate the relationship very quickly for you.
I'm great at those. That's one of my favorite parts. Really awkward conversation there. Thanks for signing me up for that, Regan.
We're trying to get your spouse healthy, and unfortunately, you're the biggest impediment. So you're either going to have to make some big changes or go. All right, we won't do that, but okay. Well, thanks everybody. Jeni, Cade, thanks a lot, and
thank you.
See y'all soon.
Awesome. We'll see you all next time. Next show coming up is we got an awesome guest on, so don't miss the podcast. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.